Welcome back to the garage. This is going to be a little bit different of a start than usual. I didn't video the beginnings of this because I originally bought this as a parts bike to finish the previous Yfz450 I did. I bought this bike and it was supposed to be a 2006 YFZ. I didn't really look into it too much because I bought it for parts. When I got it home, I ran the VIN number and I found out it's actually an 07 450R, which is the longer swing arm. It has the upgraded rear brakes. It has all the goodies that the race edition YFZ 450s have. And once I did get it running and took it for a ride, I realized that this is too nice to take apart. So we are going to restore it in a series of videos. And without further ado, let's get going. All right, let's see if we can start it. The wiring is all janky. I mean, this is the on-off. So, not really sure which way is which. But we'll find out. Doesn't sound bad. See if I can take it for a ride. I just took it for a ride up the street. I got it in second gear. That's about it. Really hard to shift it with the gap that far. My foot doesn't quite make it, so I did get it to second. Seemed fine. The clutch is a bit wonky. Might be the cable, I don't know, but yeah. It runs awesome, doesn't leak any fluids, anything. From the thumbnail, you will now know that we are going to do yet another Yfz450. And I apologize for being like Groundhog Day with these things, one right after another, but for some reason in my area, these things are readily available and at a good price. So I'm gonna stick with these until there's no more available at a good price, I guess, or until I find something else at a good price. Anyway, I picked this up to use as a parts bike, and it has the SS wheels on it, as you can see. IPT SS wheels. They're nice wheels. The tires are okay. So it also has a Yoshi exhaust, full exhaust, by the way. It does have a little bit of a dent in it from wheeling, but the exhaust still functions fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So basically, I bought this for parts. I needed a few plastic pieces. As you can see, there's no foot pegs. I took them off. What else? I did buy a new ignition for this, which is right here. Just so I could start it. And I'll go over that in a second. Obviously the foot peg's gone, the chain guard's gone. I pulled the tank, used the tank on that one. I do have another tank that I can use on this, which I bought off eBay. I used the other tank because I knew the petcock worked and everything, and it didn't leak gas, so I just wanted to throw it on there and get it done. Typically when tanks sit for a long time, the seals in the petcock go and then you got to replace them. I didn't really want to deal with that. I didn't have to deal with it because I had two tanks. So that was the reasoning behind that. I was basically going to strip this thing down. I was even possibly thinking about doing a motor swap. But I'll tell you why I didn't. The reason why I didn't is because this runs fantastic. It runs so good that I couldn't bring myself to break it down. Other than it being really, really ugly, I mean, probably the ugliest four-wheel I've ever seen with this stupid blue painted frame and all these dumb blue accents that somebody did. It really does run awesome. As you can see here, I took the carb. I also took the throttle assembly. I needed that for the other bike. So it also needs a clutch cable, which I have already ordered for it. It needs a lot of stuff, and it needs the ugly knocked off of it. I do have a full set of special edition plastics for it, which I got in a deal that I traded actually for the other bike too. It came with a secondary set of plastics, full special edition yellow, orange, and black plastics, which are going to go on here. I'm going to paint this frame black. I'm going to knock all the ugly off it, and I think this is going to be a really nice bike. And I might actually, my wife is going to ride this when it's done, and she may actually want to keep it, and then I'll end up selling that Raptor. All right, now that we're all caught up to speed, I think what I'm going to do on this first is before I start breaking this thing down to paint the frame, I bought a brand new carburetor to put on this. It's a Chinese knockoff. I know. I used it on a previous Yfz450, and it worked really nice. So I ordered the same exact one that I ordered on that one, and I'm gonna pop it in here. I want to get this running again before I break it down, just to make sure everything's okay. I know it ran prior to me taking the parts off that I did, but I just want to make sure that it runs again before I strip it down and start doing all the painting and the beautification of this ugly bike. So we're gonna do that now. Oh, one other thing. Another reason why I couldn't bring myself to break this thing down is because the guy I bought it off got it from a friend. It really makes me nervous when I see things painted like this, because it makes me think they're stolen. I had to scrape the paint off to get to the VIN number. The 10th letter on this is a 7, which means it's an 07. And it's also, I looked it up on a VIN search just to make sure it wasn't stolen, and it's not. Or at least it was never reported stolen. And this is actually a 450R. This is not a regular 450. It's not an 06 450. It's an 07 450R. It has the longer swing arm on it. It has the oversized rear caliper. It has everything that an R would have. So that's another reason why I didn't break this down, because it's an actual 450R. So we are going to rebuild this and make this thing a ripper. All right, I'm going to put the carburetor on it now, and we're going to see if we can get this running. I know I don't have a throttle on it right now because I'm waiting for that to come from eBay, but we should be able to start it by just throwing a carb on it. Let's try. All right, here's a new carb. It was 120 bucks or something like that. All right, let's pop it on. All right, I got it all set up. I did purchase this bottle feeder off of, I think it was either Amazon or eBay. It was only like maybe 20 bucks or something, or $12. It was cheap, and it's cheaply made. There's a little vent hole in the top up here, right there, so the gas will flow down to the carb. I think this is going to work out better for me rather than just putting a fuel line on here and constantly filling it. I can fill this up with quite a bit of fuel for a first run, and then kind of let it run for a little bit before it runs out of fuel. So we're going to give it a try. The fuel's on right now. Nothing's leaking. It's all in there. I plugged the carb in. I also put the Tor's bypass in, which I made myself. And I mean, we got some wires that are broken off here. The wiring is a mess on this, so we're gonna have to do another another wire session on one of these 450s, like I did on the last one. I noticed we're missing a mount bolt for the top of the motor. There's stuff missing everywhere, which is not a big deal. We'll get to it. So I have my temporary battery set up, obviously going right to there. Let's see if she starts up. Let me turn the key on. Also, I bought a new ignition for this. This one still had the plug on there. Again, this is that Chinese ignition, and it's not wired properly for this bike, so I ended up, rather than cutting the sockets off, what I did was I soldered them together. I actually just have them taped together right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take them apart, solder them, put shrink wrap on them, the whole 9 yards. This is just temporary for now, so that we can test it. I'll turn the key on. There we go. Let's see if it runs, because this bike here didn't come with keys either. Seems like a theme of mine lately. All right, let's see what happens. try choking it. All right, guys, I drained the bowl out. We don't have a throttle on here, so what I did was I cranked up the idle a little bit. I think that maybe the idle was just too low and it wasn't starting. So let's see what happens. How good this thing runs. I just couldn't bring myself to break it down. Alright, but you see what I mean, how good this runs. I didn't do anything to it. All I did was slap that carburetor on there and put some fuel to it, and obviously we got this janky wiring which we need to fix because honestly I just don't trust it. So that's where we're at. Let me shut my my nipple bottle off here. So yeah, as you guys can see, this thing runs really, really good. I have I have no issues with fixing this thing up and getting it running. So I basically scored myself a 450R for the price of a 450 parts bike. So can't complain. All right, I'm going to disconnect the feeder bottle now, and not really sure how I want to tackle this. Do I want to take the radiator off? The radiator was painted gold. It looks terrible. I mean, I can hit that with some silver and make it look decent again. The valve cover was painted gold. I have probably 3 valve covers for this engine that are all in nice shape, so I'm just going to pop that cover off and pop a nice one on there. This side cover right here is painted blue. I think paint stripper will take that right off, and it'll be that color gray, the gray color again. Not a big deal. I'm gonna take these fender mounts off, sandblast them, paint them black. Take this off, paint it black. Take the brake assembly off, wire wheel it. Take the exhaust off. I'm gonna take this off and paint it black. Sand it up a little bit. It looks like this bike was multiple colors. At one time it was orange, then it was blue. I don't know. I mean, to me, it screams stolen. But again, I ran the VIN number and it didn't come up as stolen, so who knows. As far as I'm concerned, it's registerable because it did not come back stolen, so we're gonna go with it. See, again, there's a stupid orange paint. We're gonna clean that up. I think this is gonna be a really nice bike. I did, like I said, like you saw in the earlier clips, I did take it for a ride, and it shifts through all the gears, and it's actually pretty fast. It doesn't smoke, starts right up. The motor's pretty tight. I got a good deal on it. So let's knock the ugly off this thing and make it beautiful. I just wanted to point this out to you guys real quick. This is one of the newer heads, newer style heads, and as you can see, let me see if I can get down inside here so you guys can get a better look here. You can see right here, let me get down a little more, there you go. Right here, this is where a decompression lever would have been on an older machine before they put the decompression cams in them. And you can see that they didn't machine it from the factory. The casting is still rough here. They didn't put the hole in here and they didn't machine that out. And I'll show you what I mean on the other one. So here's the other one here. You can see it's got the screw hole in here, and this is where I put that aluminum plug with the O-ring on it to seal that. So I think what Yamaha did was Yamaha had a bunch of these heads left over that had already been pre-machined for the decompression lever, and what they ended up eventually doing is they just put a plug in here, but the plugs are prone to blowing out. So if you have one of these older heads, put the aluminum plug in it. I guess that's just a public service announcement. But I wanted to show you guys exactly what I meant because I brought this up in a previous video, and now you guys can see what I'm talking about. Alright, so painting this. The easiest way to do it, for me, is you do half and then you do the other half. And the reason why I say that is because it just takes way too much time to strip the frame all the way down so you can paint it all in one shot. I've done this before where I've stripped the front half, painted it, put it back together, stripped the back half, painted it, put it back together. And you don't even need to remove the motor to do it. If you take a lot of the stuff off the motor, you can leave the motor in the frame. Just cover it with an old bed sheet or something, and it'll be fine. I've done it before, and I'll show you guys how I'm gonna do it. One thing I just noticed though, is that steering stem has got quite a bend to it. And it looks like she went end over end at one time. So, it doesn't look, well, I guess it does look a little bent that way too. I'm gonna pull the stem out, heat it with a torch, and see if I can straighten it. I've had luck doing that in the past, so we are going to do that again, or we're going to attempt to anyways. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take the steering stem out. I want to see if I can straighten it. Steering shaft is out, and doesn't look too bad outside of this. That's pretty bent. I'm going to try to straighten it. If I can't, we'll pick up a new one. Alright guys, I took this really long pipe. I slid it on the end right there. I got it cherry red right in the middle. I know we got a little bit of, and she's pretty straight now. Before I go any further with this, I think what I want to do now is I want to drain all the fluids. I want to drain the antifreeze out because I'm going to remove the radiator because I want to paint it, get this gold color off of it. Plus, getting it out of the way will allow me to paint the frame easier. Take the lines out of the way, get the exhaust off. I want to take the oil tank out, and I want to drain the oil. I'm going to change the oil and filter anyway, so I might as well just drain it now because this upper oil tank line is painted red, and I want to get the red paint off of that. So I'm going to do all that. That's simple stuff. That there's a drain bolt on the tank. There's a drain bolt on the engine cases, and you got your water pump drain right here. So I'm sorry, that's oil pump. Water pump drains right here. So I'm just going to do all that off camera and come back when I'm done. Well, draining the antifreeze out. This is the drain plug for the antifreeze, and as you can see, no brass washer. Needs to seal. Luckily, I had one in my pot spin. Fixed. Alright, well here's the motor oil, and I'm not seeing any rainbows in here, no metallic, nothing. I don't see anything in here. So this motor's still in good shape, and I'm happy about that. I got the red paint off of the dipstick, and I just used brake cleaner, sprayed it on, and it pretty much wiped off. I mean, there's a little bit of remnant on there still, but looks way better. Alright, I got a front end apart a little bit now, and this Captain America theme, I mean, I know it's 4th of July weekend and all that, but man, enough's enough already. Anyway, the calipers look terrible. I'm gonna try to strip them. If I can't strip the paint with paint stripper without damaging anything, then I'm just gonna paint them black. I have a set of brand new pads for these. These pads look brand new, but they're all shitty looking, and I got a brand new set. I'll just swap them out, and I'll hang on to those for another project bike or what have you. I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the front shocks off, and then I might even unbolt the A-arms, or I may leave them on. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull the shocks. Actually, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try to clean up these calipers first before I pull anything, because I know once I pull the shocks, the A-arms are going to drop all the way down, because there'll be nothing holding them up, and then that's just going to cause me problems. So I think that's the plan of attack. I'm going to try to clean these up first. All right, now I want to pull the slide out. Man, that does not want to slide. This is why you got to grease stuff, folks. Oh, wow. She don't want to move. All right, looks like we're going to have to take this caliper off, unfortunately. I can't free it up. I need to get it in the vise. I might need to put heat on it. So we're gonna have to drain the fluid. All right, I got it out. I had to do some pounding. Alright guys, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time showing you guys this, but basically I'm just using premium paint stripper and just brushing this on, and as you can see, the paint is coming right off, so I think it'll work pretty nicely. I'll let it sit on here for a little bit, and hopefully it'll take all the paint off. Hey, in the future guys, and you see somebody, well, you know somebody who's got a can of spray paint and they're about to have at it on their ATV or dirt bike, friends don't let friends spray paint their bikes. Just saying, it's not a good look. All right, I'm going to strip this out and then come back when it's done. All right guys, here it is, nice and clean. And yes, you can still see some of the blue paint on the rubber there. Yes, this is the same caliper. Anyway, a little bit of elbow grease goes a long way, and that'll look a lot better than whether if I painted it black or whatever. I'd much rather have it silver. So I'm going to do the other one. I'm going to end up taking the other one off the bike and doing the same thing on the bench with it. It just seemed a lot easier to do it over here. So I'm going to do that off camera. All right guys, these are the pads I took off. There's still plenty of meat on those. I do have a brand new set of pads that I could throw on this, but these pads look really, really good. So I'm going to reuse them, but I'm going to hit them with a coat of red paint to make them look a little better. All right guys, the brakes are done. Well, not the brakes, but the calipers are done. And they look good. As you can see, no more blue paint. They look nice. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the radiator out. I already drained all the fluid, so I'm going to take the hoses off. I'm going to remove this mount. The fan itself has been hardwired in. Somebody must have cut the plug off and hardwired it. So I'm going to have to unbolt the fan from the radiator and just kind of flip it up out of the way. I'm going to pull the radiator out so I can... I'm either going to try to clean this paint off of it or paint over it. That remains to be seen. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull it off right now. Let's give a recap on what's going on here. I got the radiator out. Let's see, what else did I do? Oh, the oil tank is also out. The fan is up here, as you guys can see. Fan's up there. I think that's it for now. All right, let's go over to the bench. Oh, sorry for spinning. There's the steering stem. I painted it. It should be dry by now. Looks pretty good. Put some tape on here to cover up the bushing area. That looks pretty good. That's ready to go. The shocks are all cleaned up. I wire wheeled them, so they're nice and shiny. I think I'm going to do the same thing to these that I did on that one. Show you real quick. I actually kind of like the way those hot rod stickers look on there, and I got a bunch more, so I'm going to do the same thing on these. There's the oil tank. Oil tank's off. I'm going to get rid of this red paint here, and I'm going to pull the spring off of here, and I'm going to paint the spring black so it's not red, and that should be good for the tank. The radiator's right here. If you guys can see, I tried to wire wheel it. I don't want to destroy this radiator, make it leak. I can't get this gold paint off, so I am just going to spray it silver. Hopefully it'll look good. We'll see. This is the silver paint I have right there. It's the same silver as the frame, so I don't know, we'll see. And this stuff, oh, and the brake pads I hit with red paint. They're just drying right now. Clean them up a little bit. Like I said, there's still plenty of meat left on them, so I'm going to reuse them. And this is the remaining stuff I took off. I took off the lower engine mount, both sides. These are on the back side of the brake calipers, I mean on the back side of the wheels. And these are the fender mounts, and these are the back of the brake calipers. This stuff right here is going to the sandblaster. I'm going to have them sandblast it all. I'm going to sandblast these, sandblast these, sandblast those. I'm going to sandblast these two. When I sandblast these two, they're going to get painted black. These I'm going to sandblast and then wire wheel them and just leave them because they're brake pots, so it don't really matter. I think they're made out of Galvy anyway, so they're not going to rust. And these here, I'm gonna sandblast the paint off and then wire wheel them and throw them back on, because I don't think from the factory they have any paint on them anyway. And that's pretty much it. So we're gonna wrap up this video right here, video 1. We're gonna call it a video, and we will come back for video 2 and we'll get some more done on this. We got quite a bit done on this right now. This is the 4th of July weekend, and I spent a couple of days on it and got quite a bit done. I'm happy with the progress so far. And when we come back, I think we'll probably start doing some painting on this front here. I'm going to try to paint from maybe about here over, get it all painted nice, put everything back in place, and then we'll go from this area back to here, and then I'll remove this, and maybe I'll put a coat of paint on that. It does have some orange on the top there, which, as you can see, I'm not too happy about. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We got orange overspray on this stuff. I mean, am I going to sweat it too much? No, because I'll just rewrap that with some more electrical tape. You won't even see it. The brake lines here, or this coolant line or vent line or whatever it is, this stuff will come off with brake clean on a rag will wipe that right off. No worries at all. So we're in good shape. I got a ton of new pots to put in. I ordered a lot of new stuff for this, and we'll put it all in, and we'll do all that in future videos. But for now, I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank everyone for subscribing. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I don't mind answering any questions you guys have. Yeah, that's about it. So enjoy your 4th of July weekend. This will probably post well after the 4th of July. But hey, I wish everyone a happy 4th of July anyway. Once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in video 2.